Hello YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. We welcome you to the live coverage of the Extreme World Racing League Formula 1 Season 5 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We're here in way Eastern Europe, Baku, capital of Azerbaijan here. The beloved street circuit out here, very tight and technical corners, and the famed castle section, the amazing architecture around this circuit. Valtteri Bottas has the fastest lap here. He set that back when he was in the Williams in his last race in the Williams at this track, and he was blazing. I think, what was that, like an average speed of 197 miles per hour? He was blazing. But tonight, the championship battle is gonna have a huge mark put into it, provided Hector, does what he normally does. But the 23-point gap Hector comes into today's race with over Troy. Troy is not here in tonight's race, so this point gap will be extended to a decent little margin if Hector is on pace with the last 6 races that he's done and won. And last season's race, Hector also came in and absolutely destroyed the field on strategy. Taking an entire stop out of the race as opposed to, I guess, every other driver on the track. And Hector has a lot going for him right now to make himself a 2-time EWRL F1 champion. He's on that path, but we still have an entire race to run, an entire qualifying session to get through before we can make anything official. And your current points leader takes to the track now. That is the slowest turn 2 ever. He is trying to keep every bit of tire life on that Alfa Romeo. Watch out, he'll be braking in the next zip code. Many Things is currently our for the driver that's out there first to set a time. So we'll see how he does as he works his way through sector 2 and on his way to the castle section. We're just gonna disregard whatever time went up there on the board. And I'm also going to disregard that. Hey, how about Freddie setting the first time out there at a 141? Okay, and now Francis, top of the charts at a 139.382. We have Jacob in second, Freddie for Jeremy in fourth. You can clip that, though. 4th place for Jeremy. That is something. Did he just bust? Here comes Many Things to the line on the medium, so he goes second quickest. He'll be... Alright, he beat all of y'all on softs. I don't know what to tell y'all. You didn't... I prevented Risky from getting this clip. I just stared at the leaderboard. I didn't give you a clip either. But here comes Neil. Neil will go a 142.374. Also, Ferrari is trying to lock up the construct. Oh. What is he going on about? But anyway, Ben has gone second quickest with a 141.129. And Jonathan Cox, top of the charts, a 139.048. Neil's looking to improve upon his time. It'll be our point leader taking to the timing screen next. And as Hector approaches the finish line, full song, 8th gear, it'll be a 1:37.909, already a full second over Jonathan Cox. Also taking to the line, the lone Ferrari representative tonight, Killing for Cash in the house, repping the Ferrari banner. We literally had... He goes 5th quickest, by the way. It's a 1:41.328. He might single-handedly secure Ferrari's constructor standings tonight. No, I'm kidding. But you never know what can happen in racing. But Ferrari comes into today with a 91-point lead in the constructor standings. If Ferrari leaves today with an 88-point lead, they will be EWRL Formula 1 Season 5 Constructors Champions, with none of them present today, if that were to happen today. However, if Mercedes can bring that gap at least down 4 points, all they have to do is get it down to an 87-point gap, and they mathematically still have a chance. So this constructor's title looks over by the looks of it, but it is not. There is still a mathematical shot, and with both Ferrari drivers, normal Ferrari drivers, missing today, and putting reserve in to save the Constructors' Championship, a lot can happen, and almost certainly a lot will happen. Let's see who's out. Really, the only drivers out there are drivers on cooldown laps or out laps right now. Hector, Jonathan, and Robert are heading back to the pit lane. And we'll find... I believe Jacob is going to be the first driver to start a timed lap on the second round. It'll be Jacob, then Freddie, then Jeremy. And Charles still has yet to set a time. Anyway, we'll watch Jacob in returning after his month-long vacation, if you will. He's back in the McLaren. I love the standards being set low, but at least they're standards. What? It's on invite only. Who is this? This guy had to be invited. It is on invite only. Well, we'll see if they get in here and they affect qualifying, then yeah, we'll have to restart. But okay, he's left. But if they were gonna be in the race or whatever, we would, you know, just take the qualifying results and restart the lobby with just the Grand Prix. See, catching up with many things. The only other driver on a timed lap right now is Jacobs coming around on this lap. His lap will be a 1:42.908. Woo! Many things playing with the track limits there in the castle section. The track limits being the castle. Oh my goodness, the McLaren has killed the front end. Oh, did Ben get damage from the Ferrari there? Robert has crashed. Crashed in turn 2. Many Things is coming to the line, though. Many Things will go fourth quickest at a 1:40.021. Wait, he's still there? I thought his car was removed from the track. So who do we have coming up next? We have, I think this is gonna be Hector's next lap. No, it'll be, well, Ben's car is damaged, I believe. He's coming around. Let's see. The racing points are, Hector will be the next driver to set a lap. And here he comes through the front straightaway. Hector trying to he's not gonna actually improve the gap this time. It's gonna have to probably be next lap. Hector's coming into the pit lane. Are we having anybody set a lap here? Here comes Many Things, who's trending. He's not on a lap. People go out and not set laps? I think Freddy's gonna be the next lap we get, then. Oh. Freddy to the line will go fifth quickest, a 1:47.20. We have a Red Bull coming around to start this. This is Charles coming around to start a timed lap here. And Charles has aborted the lap. He started and then stopped. So it'll be Jeremy coming around to set the next lap. He's not even picking up the DRS, so that'll be a wash. My goodness, is anybody coming around to set a lap? You're on an out lap. So, with time running down, this is going to be the last set of laps right here. Jacob is going to be, I guess, the first driver to set it on this final set. So I guess Freddy is, I believe, come to a stop. He's very slow on the front straightaway, though. Jacob is slipping and sliding, trying to find the right motorsport here. Oh, what has happened to Manyfinks? He's gonna do a stop. Manyfinks has no front end. Manyfinks will not improve his lap time. Manyfinks will lock in his 40.021. This is gonna look like a struggle bus for everybody not named Hector. My goodness. But everybody started their times. Here comes Jake up to the line to try to improve upon his 141. It'll be a 141.2. He will jump the crashed out Ferrari. We'll find Francis next. To the line, Francis will go second quickest, the 38. Neil coming to the line. Charles will not set a time here. Neil will go fourth quickest. Then we'll have Jeremy coming to the line. He will stay 10th. Then Jonathan Cox comes to the line. Jonathan goes second quickest, the 138.421. My goodness, here comes Hector. What is this gonna be? 35, 36, 37, 494. Nearly a second faster than the next closest time. But Ben in the green will go fourth quickest of 39.119. And I believe this is it. Hector will be starting from the pole. It will be Hector starting from the pole for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The third to last race of the season. Coming into today with a 23-point lead. Oh, what? What are the AI? Oh my goodness. What is happening with this lobby? Yeah, you can't join during the loading screen. Yeah. So we're seeing here the lobby will be all fine. What was that? And here we go. These drivers get ready. They've locked in their setups from qualifying, so this is all just finalizing their strategies to see if there's anything they can do to deny Hector getting his... What win in a row would this be? This would be a 7th if he were to get it done today. And literally, he's only not won twice this season. And he's done 13 starts and has won 11 times. This is absolutely nutty. I don't know what the... You should be able to. Let's go through our starting lineup, shall we? Row number 1 will be our point leader trying to lock up his second EWRL F1 championship. He'll be starting from the pole here tonight, trying to go for a 7th win in a row and 12th on the season, and to increase his lead at the top of the EWRL F1 all-time wins list. Hector will be starting in row number 1 alongside Jonathan Cox, the hot shot Mercedes. Will he be able to rally his team forward and really close that gap that Ferrari has at the top of the constructor standings right now, with neither of their regular drivers in attendance tonight? 91 points is the gap. What is the game plan for Jonathan? Row number 2 will find Francis in the Racing Point. He has yet to not finish on the podium this season. He's only finished 3rd once. In every single one of his starts, he's finished on the podium, looking to continue that streak today. But a hard-charging Alfa Romeo of Ben will be starting 4th. Row number 3 will find Neil in a new name today for just some account issues of his other account. But Neil in the Mercedes today, trying to also rally with Jonathan to close that 91-point deficit they have to Ferrari. And alongside of him will be AlphaTauri driver Many Things. Row number 4 will find a Williams driver. Freddie will start 7th. Jacob, currently in AI, will start 8th. Row number 5, it'll be the lone Ferrari soldier tonight to try to hold on to whatever points they've got. Robert, killing for cash, he'll be starting 9th, and alongside the Racing Point of Jeremy starting 10th, and Charles will start shotgun on the field after not setting that, I mean, he set a time, but I can't imagine that's actually the time he would run. So he will be starting at the back of the field, the only driver to not be forced to start under qualifying tires. If that gives him any advantage, he'll be starting on the hards. But anyway, as he continues his slow crawl to the 11th grid spot, let's get this party started. And here we go. It's time to bring the action. It's lights out, and away we go. You should be able to take control now as Hector gets clear of the field. Francis and Jonathan battle it out through turn number 1. Francis trying to get up to 2nd. Side by side into 2 now. Jonathan has the preferred line, but Francis gets squeezed out. Francis holds on to the spot he's got in 3rd. Here comes a hard-charging Alfa Romeo. Ben trying to get his way onto the podium. Looking to the outside now of the Racing Point. He's going to try to cross back under him. Cannot get there. I don't think it's there. I think it's disqualified. And there's a Ferrari around. That's Robert going around in Sector 1. He'll get back up to speed here. Caution in sector 2. There's a Williams run. That's Freddie in the castle section. And there's a safety car deployed for the entire front wing assembly of the Williams gone. No. No, you won't. Yeah. It'll count as a start, yes. So the safety car is deployed here early. If this puts any bells into the strategy, the McLaren of Jacob was not able to make it. And here comes Hector into the pit lane from the lead. Is anybody going to try to stay out here? But here comes Jonathan Francis. Ben will stay out to not double stack. Neil will stay out also to not double stack. And Manyfink stays out, trying to gain whatever spots he can. Jeremy 4th, Charles in 5th. Off the pit lane, Hector will come out 6th over Jonathan, Francis, Freddie, and Robert will be getting new front wings. So, new race leader now also now for Romeo is our Season 3 champion, Ben. Gets a nice clear view of that Mercedes safety car pacing the field around the Baku City circuit. So we work our way through the castle section here under the safety car. This is the first safety car in a couple weeks now. We went safety car free at Bahrain. It was before Bahrain. We had I think only a VSC at France. And then Coda, I think we also went safety car free. We had a VSC at Coda as well. So this safety car has not been used in a few weeks. Yeah, and it doesn't help. The McLaren of Jacob mysteriously disqualified, but disqualified off the grid. I guess giving him a 5-week vacation. But once again, the 10 drivers in tonight. It is Ben over Neil, Manyfings, Jeremy, and Charles that have stayed out the top 5. Ben on soft with Neil on mediums. We'll see how those mediums do, but of course Neil electing to use mediums in qualifying. And is it a potential one stop? This is, a relatively new circuit. Is tire wear gonna be, that much of a factor, especially with all the tightest corners being heavy braking zones? We'll see. But many things also in softs with Jeremy. This is Jeremy running 4th in a race condition is shocking, to say the least. Charles is in 5th on his hard tires. He'll have the task of having to fend off Hector and Jonathan and Francis, 3 drivers that are mostly known for finishing on the podium most weeks. Charles will be looking to stay ahead of at least one of them to help him out on that strategy. And then behind them, Freddie and Robert, they're going to kind of see the 3 ahead of them just kind of drive up into traffic without them. They're going to be on mediums. So, I can't imagine the safety car not coming in this lap, but we will see what the safety car decides to do. Safety car is going to be in this lap, and Ben is holding the field hostage at corner exit. And again, Neil on the mediums. How aggressive will he be to either attack or defend? Many things cannot overtake under the safety car. Attempting to overtake there. With Jeremy in fourth. We'll see if Jeremy can keep calm in this grid position. They're almost double wide back here. Like this is a NASCAR restart, but we are racing in Azerbaijan. Charles is up to fourth on Jeremy already. The battle for second. This is many things on Neil. Neil will get around actually for a second. No! He has to check up for corner exit. Many things up the inside into turn 2. And trying to. He will clear Neil, but Neil with the crossover and now following the AlphaTauri down the straightaway. Caution in sector 1. That's the Ferrari around again. That's Robert in trouble. Jeremy in the thick of it here. Hector desperately trying to find a way around Jeremy. He's not used to racing this guy. The better Mercedes is around. That's Neil. And there's a pile up. The AlphaTauri into the barrier. The other Mercedes driver. Jonathan Cox back here as well. Oh, and Neil trying to get the car under control. Almost sideswipes his teammate as well. And the safety car is deployed. What had happened there? Maybe many things made contact with Neil. And everybody else went around besides Jonathan Cox. He kind of got caught in a bad spot there. I'm working our second safety car now. We hadn't had a safety car in about a month. And now we have 2. Yeah. So now the drivers at the top of the constructor standings are all at the back right now. Ferrari's lone wolf Robert is in 10th. Both Mercedes drivers are 8th and 9th, and they're probably gonna both come in here and double stack because there's wing damage. As Robert will stay out even after having trouble in turn 1. I don't know if, he didn't get damaged or whatever. But Ben is in the pit lane along with Jeremy, and many things needs a new front wing for his contact with the Mercedes of Neil. And the Mercedes double stack here. Now Neil gets some service here. Yeah, this is a long pit stop for Neil. Good thing it's under safety car, not under green flag conditions. So, new race leader is Charles on 2 lap older hards than Hector and Francis. Sat second and third. Freddie stays out. He'll be in 4th for the safety car restart, and Robert will be in 5th. And there is no wing damage on the Ferrari, so I guess he's all good. Maybe just needed to get the tires a little bit more up to temp. But 2 lap old mediums sat 4th and 5th. 2 safety cars. We're on lap 5. This has been a wild start to say the least. On the same day as the F1 season for 2021 began, with a wild race today in Bahrain, it's making another wild start tonight. Again, with 10 cars, that is wow. The minimum this season, I think I'm gonna really allow a race to happen with is 10. Yeah, the field is social distance, so the other half of the field will show up, next week. Oh, goodness. So pretty much everybody but Neil is queued up now, so that will be another lap to the safety car process as Neil will catch up. you mean? Oh. There's a lot happening here. Charles will most likely be leading us to a safety car restart for the second time, and he'll be leading us to the green. Let's see how he's able to do again on 2 lap more worn hards than Hector. I don't know if they've really worn out these tires at all. We have not ran a full lap under green, and we're on lap 6. In lap 1, the safety car came out for, I believe it was Freddy's entire front wing assembly off here in the castle section on lap number 1. They brought out the safety car that picked up the, picked up the queue on the start of lap 2, ran it through. Pit lane was open lap 2. Lap 3 was the catch-up lap, and it was green on lap 4 until the safety car came out on lap 4 as well for a pile up, and the safety car picked up the field on lap 5. Pit lane was open, and here we are on lap 6. The safety car is in this lap, and I think for these drivers' sake, hopefully it stays in. But Charles is trying to race the safety car in the pit lane, it looks like. And looks like the field's going to check up here as the safety car speeds into the pit lane. And we are racing once again at the Baku City Circuit. Charles leads us to the green. And Alfa Romeo's off in the back. That's Ben. Trying to hang on to what he's got back there. Down to 7th. Jonathan Cox gets by. Up the inside. Here comes Jeremy. Jeremy will clear Ben as they all bottleneck off of turn 2 back there. Hector has gone by Charles. 4 of a race lead once again. And up the inside is Francis. Nearly contact. Freddie up in 4th. And I think there was some contact further back. Robert up into the 6th position. And how about this battle back here? More contact. Ben and Jeremy make more contact. Goodness gracious. Many things into the thick of it back here as well. Jonathan Cox has gotten by Freddie for the 4th position. Freddie holds tight in the 5th position as Robert catches up. Sat 6th. Ben's got to find his way around the Ferrari here. So Ben will get by Robert for the 6th position. I think somebody might have caught the wall back here, either Jeremy or Neil, but Neil trying to find his way around Jeremy, and many of them trying to find his way around Robert. Almost had a contact. Both of them almost had contact there into the right-hander. And off the track, many things with that massive extend. That's definitely a warning. And Robert into the barrier. Well, hold on to it. There's right front wing damage. Charles will lose 2nd position. Robert into the pit lane. What is happening with Neil? Neil's up to 8th. Hector's cleared to the lead by about a second now. Francis is cleared a 2nd. And Charles holding steady in 3rd. Jonathan in 4th, trying to take away that 3rd position up the inside. Jonathan's on mediums, though, to Charles's hards. And Jonathan is cleared to the podium once again. Jonathan to 3rd. And Freddie holding station, and he's going to go around, trying to hold on to the 5th position. Here comes Ben up the inside. Freddie will hold on for now, but getting into the Titan Technical Castle section here. So Freddie holds station for now, but Ben's really getting ready to set up the overtake. Probably going to be off of this final corner up here. You know what? On his medium, Freddie's holding his own. Many things following Ben, though, and Neil's up here as well. Hector with another fastest lap. It's a 43.635 on the hard compound. Wow, Freddie having gapped Ben on the straightaway. Many things had a look at Ben into turn 1. Ben holds station in 6th. He's right on board with many things, looking at the battle ahead of him. Whoa, big moment there for Freddie. Oh, and into the barrier! I think Ben just was trying to get a sight line into the next corner, and oh, and there's contact the Mercedes! Of Neil was trying to avoid the VSC. Did Freddie hit the wall? Yeah, there. I think there is a left front winglet gone. And Ben was following very closely and also had a left front winglet go. But up front, Hector has not been able to pull his massive 30-second lead he had last season, and a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car for Robert. Hector has a 1.3 second advantage. Is Francis in position to have a go at Hector? Into the pit lane goes Freddie and Ben. So this gap stays stagnant, about 1.5 seconds between the top two. Jonathan Cox on his 4-lap medium sees 2.5 seconds back of Hector, a second back of Francis. Depending on how all this plays out, if Jonathan Cox can get some DRS and get around Francis, Francis maybe sticks in the slipstream, they can kind of work together, maybe catch Hector. I don't know if that's really how it's going to work, but and a 5-second speeding penalty for Robert. Caution Sector 3, I believe he has retired from the session via menu, and he will be scored 10th, but will not score a point. So Ferrari will score 0 points today, and Mercedes looking to make a huge indent into that points deficit they have. 1.3 seconds the gap now as Francis trying to close up on Hector. The fastest lap for Jonathan Cox, a 43.509 on the mediums. And a 10-lap hold hards for Charles. I assume this is going to be a hard medium strat. He'll probably be coming in after just the lap after halfway potentially for the mediums. Oh, and Jeremy's wrecked off of the first corner. Jeremy with easy points is wrecked down to fourth. This is a virtual safety car. Oh my goodness, he's lost the right rear tire. It takes a heavy hit to break off the right rear. On this, with this game's damage model, the right rear tire must have meant a hellacious hit. And a 5-second penalty for Freddie for crossing the pit exit line. You did not complete 90% of the Grand Prix, correct? And then there was 8. Two safety cars, 2 virtual safety cars. We're back to racing, by the way. The gap 1.4 seconds. France is trying to keep Hector in sight. You gained like a 10. Okay. Neil into the pit lane. It's a new front wing for the Mercedes driver of Neil. Like Ben will be racing Neil on pit exit. Neil's on fresh hards, the Ben's fresh mediums. And now Hector's starting to really open up the margin. Did Francis use those hards up a little too much? Gap to 1.8 seconds. Gap stabilizes at 2 seconds. Jonathan Cox just outside the DRS range at 1.3 behind Francis. And Hector the fastest lap, a 1:43.055. .9 out in front of Francis, 1.5 out behind Francis for this podium. Jonathan on 7-lap-old mediums to Hector and Francis's 10-lap-old hards. We're working the halfway point of this Grand Prix with 4 full course cautions today. 2 safety cars, 2 VSCs. After we've had VSCs in the past couple of weeks, but we have not had a safety car in nearly a month, and we got 2 today. With one of the smallest fields this season. Is caution in sector 2. That's Freddie retiring from the session as the leaders are coming by. Whoa! And it's gonna be the VSC. That was a needed VSC. The leaders are coming by upon a stricken vehicle. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, we switched to Hector, and that was scary to see that car across 2 lanes there on the right side. That was wild, but that is the 5th full course caution today in the first half of this Grand Prix. And we are back to racing once again. Into the second half of the Grand Prix now. 2.2 seconds the gap out in front. 1.4 the gap between second and third. Charles hanging steady in the fourth position, but again on 13 lap old hards. These safety cars are not helping his strategy. But if he was to try to go for softs at the end, this is helping that case out. Many things into the pit lane from his 8 lap old softs. It will be a set of mediums for the AlphaTauri driver and a new front wing. So Hector up to, Ben up to 5th. Neil actually gets caught out by Many Things. Many Things will be 6th over Neil in 7th, and that's all we have running. Neil, is he gonna send it? He wants to send it, especially what Many Things did to him earlier. He will force Many Things into the barrier! Oh my goodness, and just like last season, Malenko was in a Mercedes last season and disposed of Many Things after what Many Things did to Malenko. This season, Neil's in the Mercedes and Many Things are put into the barrier! Oh my goodness, and there's a car heading into the pit lane. I guess maybe predicting a safety car, but there was not a full course caution. We did not get the 6th full course caution right there. Many Things as AlphaTauri has been cleared, but just... I'm sorry that was funny, but it literally is something so similar to last season. Neil was not going to give him any space, especially after the contact earlier, and really... Oh. I'm not necessarily saying that. Oh goodness. It just so looked like another Mercedes disposed of Many Things after Malenko did last season. With Many Things making contact with Malenko. It looked so similar. Oh my goodness. And there is 6 drivers left. 2 Alfa Romeos, 2 Mercedes, a Racing Point, and a Red Bull. I could probably do points before we do interviews. Oh goodness. What has happened? And then there was 6. Oh man. Oh my goodness. The gap out in front is 2.5 seconds in this absolute massacre of a Grand Prix. And not because Hector's dominating. Just... Oh man. We can see what the outlook is like. I'm gonna do a dirt oval race tonight. We'll see how that goes. I need to do well in NIS because I'm up there in the top 10 in the point standings for my division. What do you mean what happened with Bristol? Yeah, they covered in dirt. It's a dirt track today, this week. No, it was flooding today. Yeah, they moved the race to tomorrow at noon and the truck race to tomorrow at 4. Because it was literally flooding out in the parking lot. There was like 4 feet of water. That is absolutely mental. Hector opens up his gap to 2.7 seconds. Francis losing sight of Hector and not looking too concerned about it. how long do these hards go around Baku? Here comes Charles into the pit lane after 15 laps. Granted, a lot of those laps, and Jonathan Cox with the fastest lap of a 1:42.390. It'll be a set of softs for Charles. But I was gonna say, I don't really know how many green flag laps these drivers have ran on their hards. Of course, they've ran 14 laps, but with 5 full course cautions, and very well probably should have been at least 6 at this rate. But how many of those laps have been under safety car? As Neil will get by Ben enters pit lane, actually. What is the call now for the Alfa Romeo driver? It is a new front wing. That is the call. And another set of mediums. Hector's lead is stabilized at 2.7 seconds. Jonathan Cox, he's coming for fresh mediums. Is he trying? Is this strategy going to be fulfilled? Can he I guess, so can he undercut Hector and Francis? It is now 15.5 seconds. We'll have to see. Charles also is 13 seconds back at Jonathan, so there's a lot of work for Charles to work his way onto the podium. But not impossible, especially at the attrition rate that we've had. But these 6 drivers that are left, I very much expect to stick around. The pit window is open for the soft tires. According to virtual AWS, that is. Oh, Hector almost into the barrier there. That's going to be a huge time gain in Francis's favor. That's a whole second. Over a second that Francis gained just by making it to that corner. 1.8 seconds the gap now. Newfound life in the Racing Point. It's not over yet. Hector will stay on another lap, but I was saying it was before Hector nearly made contact with the wall. I believe this group of 6 drivers is very capable of keeping their cars on the track. It looks like now just an open practice session at this point. Yeah, I find it hard to believe that we'll get any more. Unless something similar has happened, because Hector's now lost another few tenths. It's 1.7 seconds the gap, and Charles with the fastest lap, but 1:41.599. And are these hards really losing their grip, their advantage? Are they hanging at the end of their tire life here? Or at least of their usefulness? Sounds like they're working together at the, as competitive as they, you would think they are at 1.8 seconds, the gap 4v race lead. That is absolutely wild. They're going to go to the end. They're going to attempt to go to the end, I should say. Wow. 5 full course cautions. Definitely could have played a factor into this. .6 seconds to gap out in front. 1.5, and Neil, a 5-second penalty for crossing the pit exit line. And he's in a tight battle with Ben. So no position is settled yet, as Neil has to either gain 5 seconds, which Neil is on fresh softs, Ben is on 2-lap-old mediums. So it's not out of the question, but does Neil have the pace to gain, at this rate, 4 more seconds on Ben behind? Neil's open up to 1.2 seconds out in front. The gap out in front of Ben, actually, I should say, for the 5th position. Ben using slipstream to try to maintain that margin. And 1.7 seconds the gap in the race lead. You get nice little shots of the skyline here in Baku. Beautiful city here in Eastern Europe. Again, a circuit built recently just on the premise that Formula One would come to this city. And it has not disappointed. Most Grand Prix have been action-packed at this circuit, and especially the last 2 here in this series as well, but mainly in real life. This has been quite the spectacle each season. 1.5 seconds the gap flash there is up to 1.6. Dodgy line for Francis on his way to the castle section there. So their entire conservation mode, the top two, are with 4 laps remaining in the Grand Prix. Jonathan pushing hard on his 6-lap-old mediums, 11.5 seconds back of Francis. He has 9.5 seconds ahead of Charles. Charles, the podium is looking very distant for the Red Bull. In the battle for 5th, Ben has come into the pit lane. So this looks settled for even Neil to take just, added 5 seconds to his race time. Should be fine. I assume Ben maybe just going for fastest lap, hearing that the top 2 aren't. Whoa, big moment for Ben as he comes down the hill. What a catch of that Alfa Romeo. .8 seconds, the gap out in front now. The gap now 1.3, 1.2 seconds. But again, they're on the strategy together. With the early safety car, they fitted a fresh set of hards, and they ran with it since. 21 laps apiece on their hard tires. Jonathan's come in and fitted mediums. 9.7 seconds back of Francis, as Francis tries to get the power down. At the 1.1 second advantage Hector has, 1.2. And this isn't over. Does Francis have enough to catch and overtake Hector? This is still not a large margin whatsoever. I don't know if Hector is conserving or anything like that, but at least Francis is showing that there is hope for a victory still out here. And by the looks of it, it looks like Ben did not get fastest lap, the most recent lap. Neil currently holds fastest lap. See if Ben is able to take that in. Here we go, with a lap and a half remaining. This gap continues and continues to close. It's been a lot of 1.1 this entire lap. At a second there, under a second through that corner. Is he gonna be there at DRS detection? 9/10 of a second. And how about this? It's a long front straightaway. If he can get into position, this is not over. but I don't think he was there at the... Actually, the DRS detection is much further along the straightaway, but I don't think Francis is close enough. Oh, he was close, but I don't think close enough. There's a caution in Sector 3. That's Ben into the pit lane. And the Red Bull of Charles has had an incident. But we start the final lap, and it's a purple Sector 1. Ben has retired from the session. He has made 90%. Francis is closing. Both of them all over their overtake buttons. 0.6 of a second to gap. And then there was 5, but the battle for the lead, battle for the win on the final lap. Francis trying to get his 4th career EWRL F1 win, but he's gonna have to beat Hector, who's trying to get his 7th EWRL F1 win in a row. Francis loses a little bit of touch there through the middle sector. .1 seconds to gap into this final corner. It might be too little too late, but he's gonna try. You can come back from monstrous gaps on this front straightaway. 1 second. He's going to be there at DRS detection, but I think it's too late. Hector's out of overtake. But it's not going to matter. For the 7th time this season, Hector is going to win. I'm sorry, for the 7th time in a row, Hector's going to win as Francis crashes after the checkers. Jonathan will come home in 3rd. And just like today, the chase was not good enough. It is 0.1 of a second that it came down to. And Francis is... Looks like Francis is out of pace. Or I'm sorry, out of gas. Is Charles gonna make it to the line ahead of Neil? The drag race to the line. Is he gonna get there? Neil barely crossed. I'm sorry, Charles gets the line over Neil barely. Oh my goodness. What in the world was this Grand Prix? Oh my goodness. See you, man. Well, these are your finishing results, and I don't... Not a whole lot to say about it. That is what it is. We'll take a look at the race director. All right, and I was able to get the standings done. The standings are done. All right, for both drivers and constructors. But all right, let's go ahead and let's get these post-race interviews underway. Gotta join the party on the console, and we'll hear from these drivers straight away. All right. And we'll see if we get Jonathan, but at least we have the top two, and I don't know, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
What was the game plan today? It looks like you and Hector were working together for the most part.
Yeah, it was just like essentially going on hard because we expected another. Well, I did anyways. I expected a safety car towards the end, but then it was like a battle royale. So I was like, let's get that victory royale, you know. And then it was just basically working together and not stepping over each other. But he was quicker, and in the end, we just held on. So that's pretty much it. 24 laps on hards, so we can be happy.
For sure. So the race of attrition was definitely the key today. Even with an 11 driver grid, after not having physical safety cars deployed for nearly a month, we had 2 actual safety cars deployed and 3 virtual safety cars. Was the amount of safety cars, I guess, what you expected, or what do you think was, I guess, the reason that these drivers really were, I guess the drivers at DNFs were just struggling today?
I think they just tried to get the moves done, but most of them were on different strategies. So if I were them, I would just play the long game and then see at the end, right? But they tripped over each other, and that's what it gives, really. And it's Baku too, so it's one of the trickiest circuits on the calendar.
Absolutely, it is a tight little circuit. That is. All right, so we're off this next week, but the week after that, we're at Singapore. How do you feel about the Marina Bay Street Circuit?
It's a track, and it's cool because there's a lot of lights everywhere, so we'll see. I don't know how to feel about it.
Absolutely. I will say, with a pretty, I guess, intense and action-packed race for the most part, really with all the calamity in the first half of the race, other than maybe the start next week or in 2 weeks' time, I cannot see a similar Grand Prix happening. But hey, anything can happen in racing. But also, you got yet again another podium. That was your hold on. 4, 8. That was your 10th podium on the season in 10 starts.
Really?
How does that make you feel? What do you think about that? Oh, I'm sorry, no, ninth podium on the season.
I think it's good. It's a bit exciting because I'm practicing on like my racecraft a tiny bit. So I believe Hector and we ran pretty similar setups. So yeah, we're learning from each other and we go from there. So
absolutely,
that's pretty much it.
It showed today that you've been working on that racecraft. But anyway, congratulations on the second place finish. Best of luck to you in 2 weeks' time at Singapore. And yeah.
All right, thanks.
Right on. And for the 12th time this season, Hector, my goodness, another win, 7th win in a row.
Hello.
How does that one feel?
I don't know. I'm just chilling.
So the plan, I guess, to work with Francis and run, similar setups, similar strategies. How all that come about? 2 completely different power units. Not that power units mean as much, in a league, but still, just I thought it was an obscure kind of teamwork happening here. But what was it from your point of view?
Yeah, I think with the setups, I think he has my Baku setup, but I didn't run the same one. I was trying a bit of a hybrid from something else. I'm experimenting with ride height and wing levels. So, yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, I was just I wanted to see also towards the end of the race what Jonathan was doing for lap times and see if I had to go quicker or just kind of lay back and Yeah, we really didn't have to worry about too much. So yeah, I was thinking about even covering off Jonathan, but I was like, you know what? With the amount of laps left, the lap deficit from these old tires to some fresh ones probably isn't going to be worth the pit stop. So yeah,
So would you say that maybe the slew of virtual safety cars and the other safety car after you pitted for tires definitely helped out these hards lasting as long as they did, or?
I would say yes to an extent. Um, I also like, I'm not sure how much Francis pushed on his set of hards, but I knew I was pushing at some points during the my hard stint. So yeah, and then like different areas, sometimes there'd be a little bit of wheel spin or what have you. So, but yeah, definitely the amount of cautions that we had to go through definitely helped keep the wear down a little bit. So.
For sure. So you leave today. 2 races left on the season. Nearly 2 full races over Troy. It is 48 points leaving today. I'd say that, that sounds pretty simple, pretty easy for 2 races. But the 2 races, Singapore, Brazil, how do you feel?
We're locking it up in Singapore, and Brazil is going to be the last hurrah, I guess.
Okay. Are you going to lock it up in Singapore 2 seasons in a row? That would be quite the sight, and maybe the quite.
Yeah, let's hope I don't get assassinated in like the first couple of corners like I did last season.
Yeah, that was. I think he still went on to win that race, though.
Yeah, I did. But I still got assassinated.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that does not help. But right. How do you feel about the Marina Bay Street Circuit? You think it's a good track for you? How do you feel about it for your standards, or what?
Certainly, it's a good track. Definitely needs a practice to get used to. So, yeah, but most of all, it's good to have a setup there. So, yeah, the car will be to my liking at least.
Right on. Well, we will leave you to it. Congratulations on the 12th win this season, 7th win on a row, and a much nearly locked up championship. And yeah, best of luck to you in 2 weeks' time at Singapore.
Yep. Thank you. See ya.
And well, that was our top 2 finishers. It looks like we do not have Jonathan joining us for a third place interview on the podium or any drivers sticking around. If anybody stuck around, we would have for sure interviewed them. I was honestly, not against interviewing like all 5 of the drivers that finished. But we'll leave it at that. That is going to conclude tonight's coverage of the EWRL F1 Azerbaijan Grand Prix Season 5 here. The penultimate race in 2 weeks' time at the Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore. It'll be April the 11th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you then. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay cool. It is now springtime. And at least here in Texas, it is getting very hot. Y'all, if y'all got allergies, stay inside. Pollen has been absolutely killing me recently. And I know a lot of others have maybe allergies that are worse than mine, but keep yourselves healthy. I'll stick around. Y'all have a great Easter next Sunday. 2 weeks time, the racing continues. We'll see y'all then.